Captain, incoming message.
Intruder alert on deck 8. Enter authorization code. Command functions are offline. Automatic defense procedures initiated. Diagnostic complete. Sensors are functioning normally.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Friday night, we're going to talk a little Trek, we're going to talk a little Orville. How's it going? Yeah!
Yay for one, boo for the other.
That's right. Yes. Hey, let's ask our studio audience. Do you want us to talk? How many you want us to talk Orville? Okay. How many do you want us to talk about Star Trek Discovery? Oh, it's ugly. The mere mention of Star Trek Discovery.
Discovery first. Then let's do Discovery. Let's get that out.
Do you really? The studio audience is not happy about this. That's how bad. That's how much they hate Discovery. The studio audience. Okay, you really will? Yeah. Okay, might as well because it's just so hysterically bad. Okay, I'm Rob Robot Shlomo, coming to you from Chevy Road Studios, joined again by Mr. Tom Connors.
Ahoy.
And the ever ebullient, lovely, and what's another good adjective for her? Crimson-haired?
Yeah, sure. I'm trying to think of a compliment. I'm trying to think of a compliment for myself. Hello.
Yeah. So, okay. Like I said, let's. Do you really want to get STD out of the way first?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. We have to get rid of an STD. Yeah, loud. Well, I turned it up actually, so they're halfway through. But
because I lost the will to live during Discovery, and then found the will to live again during Orville.
Yes.
I watched them in the other order. I watched Orville, and then we did the live STD watch.
What was the title STD like this today, last night? Makes a difference.
Spock wears the special helmet. I don't know.
It's like Search and Destroy or Search in the Light or something. I don't know. It's in the description.
Whatever.
Something pretentious.
It doesn't even matter anymore. It really doesn't. It really is. Oh, look at this. Not even a wild original series connection could save Star Trek Discovery. That's from IO9 Gizmodo, whatever the hell they're calling each other. Even the media, even the woke media like IO9 is turning on Star Trek Discovery. So, okay.
Well, as much as the people want to go out there and defend it as such this big hit because of season 3 and everything, it's still only getting like 20-some% on Rotten Tomatoes for an audience score. And it's going down for a critic score. So
it's going down, down, down into the water.
Faster than a hooker on the red light.
Going. It's going down, down.
Phrasing.
So
yeah.
Yes. All right. So we open. How did it open? I don't even remember. It's open. It actually opened up with a personal
Spock, as always.
Personal log from Mikey Spock.
Personal log where I whisper everything.
Make everything sound so much more important when I whisper. Yes, she's and of course there's Allison.
The whole like fucking description of things. First scene with her and Pike. Do you get the impression that a lot of these actors don't really know what they're saying? Like they really don't understand the dialogue they're emoting. Because I got that from her that first scene what you're going to talk about here. But anyway,
yeah, she's looking. I imagine the table read. For everyone who might not be familiar with table read is when you first go through a script. It literally everybody sits around a table and they read their lines. That's and the directions and everything, and you that way you can hash out whatever needs changes and whatever. When they're doing the table read, I got a feeling Mikey Spock and Second Martin Green. It's like, excuse me, what's this quantum tachyon drive? What is personal
probably
log.
a rule
What
against
is-
anybody asking what their motivation is. How much you want to bet?
Yeah.
There probably is, because
What-
they were probably asking too many questions.
Why would I be entering a personal log? What is that? I don't understand. You know, I can picture a lot of that. You know, why would Mary Weissman's probably so cute. Excuse me, why would I be doing this? You know, she'd probably be so cute, you know. But anyway,
I need to
we're getting
a personal log. Yeah, in your toilet.
yeah, so,
Phrasing, boom!
so
That almost
Right.
sounds like Mecca. I thought it was.
No.
that's Pam Poovey.
Sploosh.
So yeah, so anyway, I don't even know where to begin with this.
Find like the shortest synopsis you can, because it's a really stupid, straightforward episode.
Okay, all right. Okay. Mikey Spock asks permission to go to Vulcan. She goes to Vulcan. Spock's in the nut house. Spock's mom's been hiding Spock from Spock's dad, Sarek. And Spock's dad is a piece of shit for not understanding why Spock's mom would hide him, and he's just reciting gibberish. A lot of his Alice in Wonderland and these random numbers. And then Captain Pike and Tyler Vaughn have to go in a shuttle, and they have to go explore the anomaly. And they explore the anomaly, and they see time echoes, which is very reminiscent of Cause and Effect and a couple other episodes. And they encounter their own probe, which has had it's been doctored because it went to the future, because time is a constant wibbly wobbly, timey wimey stuff, you know. Do you think? I don't think there's
Time bit was one of the only interesting parts of the whole show.
Yeah, I will give them that. The parts were with Anson Mount being Captain Pike, I kind of like those.
Well, yeah, because I loved him giving Tyler Vaughn a hard time the whole time through.
Oh, absolutely.
He's the only one who ever points out the obvious. He's like, Michael Burnham, oh, weren't you the one that started the fucking war and got a bunch of people killed? Oh, Tyler Vaughn, aren't you half fucking Klingon?
Yeah, and actually, there was a callback to the episode Galileo 7 where they where Spock ignited the plasma. Remember, to signal the the shuttle would, you know, to create a signal for the Emperor. However,
yeah,
and they try to play it off. Oh, well, that's standard procedure. No, it's not. That was a gamble Spock took. He weighed the logic and he had to make a decision, and he said that this was the best way that we can get rescued. And like I said, that was a pure gamble on his part. It wasn't part of the procedure. And okay, Mikey Spock,
maybe they would have had 31 people doing what they were supposed to do. They might have said, "Oh, maybe that's something he should have said that he learned from Spock."
Yeah. But that happens 10 years in the future, though.
So it doesn't mean Spock didn't think of it 10 years before that.
That's true. So anyway, okay, Spock's in the nut house. Mikey Spock takes Spock to Section 31. Georgiou, blah, blah, blah. Okay, they're going to work on him, and finds out that they're going to melt his brain.
So we kind of glossed over one thing. So they've spent how many episodes did they spend searching for Spock, and they couldn't figure out he was headed to fucking Vulcan.
Yeah.
Right there in his own planet. Wouldn't that be the first place they looked? Yeah, he was in this cave where they block the telepathic signals. He's in they have this hull of Katra. But still, you would have looked on his own, like follow his mother.
Well, it's just convenient that that's where Mikey decides to go too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so stupid.
It's just like one. It's like, it just so happens that the Mikey Spock goes to Vulcan. It just so happens that Spock's mom is hiding him in a cave that just so happens to be shielded from Sarek's telepathy, and it just so happens
figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, and it just so happens that Mikey Spock is the only one that can take him to Section 31, and it just so happens that Section 31 is going to melt his brain, and it just so happens that Georgiou wants him to it's one convenience.
Well, like Brandon Hagemeyer says in the chat, Vulcans aren't that telepathic. To be honest, I don't really ever remember Vulcans ever being that telepathic at all. They had to have some kind of
contact.
They're touch telepaths. They have very limited. They have maybe confined to a few feet, but they are touch telepaths.
Wouldn't he be like even just, you know, subconsciously like calling his father and, you know, search for Spock? or something like that. You know, that makes no sense. I mean, there's all kinds of times where that would have come in handy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, let me call my dad. You know, we got U.S. Cellular. We got good service
here. Oh, for God's sake. But anyway, everything, like I said, it's just one plot contrivance after another. And then, like I said, and Georgiou wants Mikey Spock to go take Spock somewhere else. And so they fake a fight. And, it just so happens they both know Kung Fu.
Everybody was
how convenient.
How
convenient and how conveniently racist. The Asian character gets to show off her martial arts skills. Well.
Okay, let's back that up though a second, because I didn't even find that part as stupid as she shuts off the cameras for 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't buy that. Okay, now all of a sudden there's cameras on the ship, because remember before, conveniently there wasn't.
There's no security anywhere.
And then now there is. And she figures out how to shut them down on this very technologically advanced ship that would probably have how many safeguards against something like that specifically.
And nobody notices. Nobody does. Captain, we have a security system failure in section 23. Section 21, whatever it is.
Well, they have no security on their ship. It's off. What was he off? They put Vok back in charge, right?
You're correct. You're correct, Random.
Who is it that plays Spock's mother? Because I felt
Mia Kirshner.
She's not a very good actress here.
She's too young too. She's like only about 10 years older than Michael Burnham.
I feel like
she's probably fine on a soap opera, but she's not good in this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to bash these actors and actresses because I have a feeling it's not their fault.
No,
she's on the L Word.
Yeah. Well, and how many rewrites have they gone through? And I mean, now we're in episode whatever to where, what's her face is supposedly on board to help out and shit. Didn't help the show from what I could tell outside of a little bit, but it was still pretty boring and convoluted. It just anything that had to do with Mikey Burnham and Spock, I was done with. It was just
And actually, I did notice Michelle Paradise's name in the credits. Your showrunner for your co-showrunner for season 3. This is one of her first contributions. Yeah, there you go. Doesn't exactly instill confidence, does it?
No,
it doesn't.
Bitch. And I did like the stuff with Pike and Tyler Vok. I didn't mind that. That's the part that actually kind of felt Trek-like. These guys are going in to explore this anomaly and they get sucked inside and it's like this time vortex and Pike sees like this strange vision in the future where he thinks he ends up killing Tyler Vok, and that was a little contrived, but whatever. It seemed more Trek-like than anything else in the series. And oh my God, what is it with Sarek having fucking emotions again? I get it. Vulcans do technically have emotions. They've just learned how to suppress them. Sarek has never, ever, 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 ever shown any kind of emotion before, though. He is like the most emotionless.
He's like the Vulcan's Vulcan.
Yeah, he's like the epitome of a Vulcan. The only thing that makes him different than any other probably Vulcan is that he married an Earthling. You know what I mean? And he's always like giving his son shit. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't understand where this all of a sudden love and devotion from his father comes from. I could not stand losing both of our children in one day, and he's about to cry. I'm like, oh, please.
Mm-hmm. And he would always pay Spock a backhanded compliment.
Always.
He performed adequately, So
because he never wanted him to be in Starfleet in the first place or whatever.
Oh, and it turns out Spock is dyslexic. He has a learning disability. Oh, for God's sake, you gotta make everybody special, don't you?
I'm a loser. That right. They didn't even do it right. Like, I am dyslexic. I don't read the entire fucking number backwards. I will flip a few numbers here and there. I won't just recite everything fucking backwards. Are they goddamn idiots on this show? I am insulted. By this show.
And I mean, I don't have an issue with Spock dealing with emotions. That's something that's always been a part of Star Trek. But this has just got to be the most lamest shit I've ever seen. And then he's sitting there like, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, like the penitent man.
No,
like,
he's chanting like the guy from Rogue One.
That too. And then she's like, all of a sudden just figures out, oh, it's backwards. Like, okay.
Yeah. And only Mikey Spock was the one to figure out it was backwards. Yes. Well, she was the only one who could do it.
Evidently, Pecker Spock is going to be in more one episode. They just didn't want to let us know that with the credits and IMDb, I guess, unless he's just going to disappear between now and the next episode.
Oh no, we've already seen him doing the thing where he snaps the people's necks and stuff, so that's probably coming.
Yada yada. I really just so lost interest in this shit. Like after Pike was okay and they had their little, circle jerk on the fucking bridge there, and
yeah. we have some footage. We have some sound of Spock of what he was saying. Hold on a second. Yes, that's us hitting ourselves in the head after the board.
Yes.
I just I want to scratch my brain out when I watch this show.
Okay, so anyway, all right, let's so Mikey Spock figures out, she feeds numbers into the ship's onboard computer, searching, and there's no reference to anything else. It immediately comes up Talos 4. No, nothing about how there are 3,271 matches for this sequence. It is the coordinates of a nebula in the Andromeda galaxy. Nothing like that. It is the ship registry of a Vulcan science vessel. Nothing like that. Immediately just comes up Talos 4. Well, I understand. Well, but this episode was only 36 minutes. So
it felt longer.
It
felt longer.
Maybe if you
it did.
Should I suppose?
Yeah, it was only 36 minutes.
Oh,
do you think this is part of another episode?
No, they're just setting up the Telosians for the next one.
I don't know. I really don't care.
But they never had. Are we going to see someone playing Vina, the Susan Oliver part now?
Probably.
The stupidity of this show makes my brain hurt. Literally makes my brain hurt.
It does. You have to basically be high as a kite and not paying attention and have a lot of people there laughing at it and be playing, Star Trek Discovery bingo while you're watching it just to even make it tolerable at this point.
Well, the first half was laughable. I couldn't even laugh at it. It was that bad.
It was boring.
It was stupid. Like, seriously, the probe attacked Pike and Vok in the shuttle, and it basically treated it like it was a Japanese schoolgirl, basically, with all these tentacles coming out of this probe. It pierces the hull, right? And they don't get sucked down, and they don't lose pressure. How does this thing pierce the whole hull? What does it do? Seal the thing as it pierces it? Then he's there beating the fucking thing with a hammer like a moron. Oh god!
Oh, and they're hinting at some sort of importance for Nebula. We did get to see some of the bridge crew. LeBron James had a couple lines. Natsulu had a couple lines.
Oh, Nebula! Did you catch that thing? They're setting up for something later.
Yeah, so she's a robot,
obvious,
and not a cyborg like they said.
She gets something in her, and she's affected for later. She got an STD too. What is it with everybody getting STDs on this show?
Oh, and Stamets has an STD only he could save them because he had tardigrade blood DNA.
Of course,
right? He's got.
I was actually pleasantly distracted by the whole Stamets and Tilly show, and I'm like, oh my god, not these knuckleheads. But if you think about it, they'd be kind of fun on a sitcom or something together. They have a good time together, but
I can't stand him. I don't like his character anymore. I hate his character. It started out okay, but he got really annoying. And we got 2 super chats, Rob. I don't have my cha-ching up.
There's John Ridges. Okay, hold on. Let me go back here. Meximan and Cheese. Hey, Holmes. $2 super chat. Avis, please deliver us from STD. Avis, we try harder. John Ridges $5. Thank you, Meximan. John Ridges $5. I've noticed that STD is a much better show when if you watch it with the sound off. It's very pretty. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's all visuals. It's all visuals. The visuals on Vulcan actually were incredible.
Except for the forest. There's no forest on a desert planet.
Yeah, I mean, geez. Are they making it a point to say that Starrick lives in the best neighborhood on Vulcan? I mean, is that it? Yeah, is that
an ambassador? They're privileged, I suppose.
I don't like the Sarek either. I mean, I don't have a problem with the actor per se. I've seen him in other shit. I know he can act, but I don't. He was the wrong choice, and they make stupid choices. And Sarek was always kind of one of those characters I really liked, and they're really pissing me off with him.
He was good on Orphan Black.
He was even okay on Gotham.
Joe Jessup says Vulcan is actually Vancouver.
No, we discovered it's Toronto because I usually play with all these science fiction shows. Which version of Planet Vancouver are they going to land on this week? And no, they're just in Toronto on this one.
Toronto, I love Toronto. Toronto's a great city. I've been there a number of times. Great city.
I've only been up to Calgary.
So yeah. Anyway, back to
maybe we should organize a field trip and protest outside the
studio. Outside of STD. Then we can go over to the Expanse or something.
Yes.
Do I have the finger?
So. Anyway, so like I said, so they're setting it up so that only Mikey Spock can take Pecker Spock to Vulcan, and only she can. What is she gonna do with what are the Talosians? I don't understand what the point is, really.
Aren't they basically setting her up to do the same thing that Spock supposedly did in the menagerie or whatever it was, the episode?
The cage, yeah.
Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, yeah, they're cannibalizing the menagerie, really.
They're just using them as a reference, I think, because people recognize it. Like, oh, Star Trek fans will get this. We'll make them happy. We'll bring up something they know.
They're getting the references, but they don't. They're saying references, but they don't understand what they are.
Yeah, it's kind of like somebody reciting back, somebody who doesn't speak your language, trying to recite back phonetically what, like a sentence. They're trying their best, but they don't understand it.
Well, we're getting closer and closer to places where sooner or later they're just going to have to fucking break down and admit that we're right, that this is prime and not canon. Because sooner or later, shit just is not going to match up to the point where people are going to be like, wait a minute. You keep telling them that this is the same timeline, but it's not. You can keep telling us that, but we know it's not. And all these people who try to claim that we're full of shit, no matter how much shit's been proved, will sooner or later see exactly what we're talking about when something happens that is referenced or should happen in TOS and does not. And the way it happens is completely different, just like Into Darkness. And people will finally realize that, oh, that's what they mean. They're in the prime. I get it now. Duh. Okay, now you see why we're saying this all this time. Because like Robert Burnett said, this show was meant to be and line up with canon until Kurtzman came on board, at which point it changed.
Okay. Okay, here's something that's bothering me though about where they're going with this. In the cage. Now, the cage is part of the original Star Trek, or the menagerie, or whatever. The expedition that had crashed on Talos 4, when Pike and Number One and her and the crew find them, like, so my memory failed, so I had to look it up really quick. The survivors had said they've been missing for 18 years. And Vina was injured, and of course her beauty was an illusion because they tried to treat her. The Talosians tried to treat her, but they had never seen a human before. Now, if Mikey Spock goes to Talos 4, that's 8 years ahead. If this is 10 years before Enterprise, that means they won't be going Pike won't be going to Talos 4 for another 8 years. Then how could they have claimed they were the only humans that they've seen?
Exactly. When I even made a video on this in October or something, calling them out on it because they had leaked that oh yeah, we're gonna go to Talos 4. They're gonna bring in the Telosians. That's not a good thing. You guys aren't lining up with anything.
Yeah, like I said, oh well, then wouldn't it make sense that Mikey Spock could have treated Vina or whatever, whatever. Like I said, it just doesn't. It makes no sense. It doesn't make. I know actually the cage actually happened 3 years ago. What they in the Telosians rearrange Michael would be funny. So the events of the cage happened the cage was 13 years before TOS. STD's 10 years before.
I was going to say, didn't those events happen? And that was the whole thing, was Spock needed to go help Pike out, but Pike had already been like that for a long time. That was the whole point.
And Talos 4 is and visiting Talos 4 is the only death penalty still on the books. So Mikey Spock would be setting her up to be executed.
Good.
That or good go. Or like everything, well, they got to get her out of existence. The only way you can take her out of existence is that she still exists. And what I mean is there has to be some way something will happen that she will have to meld with Spock. And Spock is Mikey Spock, meaning they are one and the same. And the reason she is so Vulcan-like and he's got such emotional fucking issues is they're going to try and say that the Spock as we know him today is actually Mikey Spock, but it's Spock. You know what I mean? They're one and the same person. She's the one who fixes him. You watch. I'm almost fucking certain.
Yeah, they're going to... Seraph Aramus, they're going to retcon it so the death penalty happens after this, yeah. The cage, 13 years ago. STD, 10 years ago. Pike was injured not long before the menagerie.
And not only that, they're going to retcon it, but they're going to give us some insult while they retcon it in some throwaway line.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, these are people that they know they're just throwing references out without knowing what they actually mean. That's the thing.
Well, and here's funny because, to call it a red herring almost, the Red Angel, everybody thinks it's Mikey Spock. We even kind of think it is. If that's the case, then that's an explanation for her to disappear. But it's such a stupid, convoluted story. And it still makes her exist in this fucking world where she shouldn't exist, period.
But it's, well...
Correctamundo!
But it's Alex Kurtzman, though. It's Alex Kurtzman. You gotta remember.
I could care less if they just finally admit that this is not the canon. This is fucking Prime. This is something different. So the little Drekkies can have what they want and dance on this show and whatever. I could care less. I really could care less then, because then it doesn't matter to me anymore. I can ignore it or I can displace it like I do the JJ Trek movies, because I don't even harbor the anger against those that a lot of people do, because I'm just able to, just kind of forget that you're able to say, oh, this is not the same timeline is what I'm trying to say. Sorry.
Yeah. And the whole thing about, oh, wait, you wait, you're going to see how this all lines up. You're going to see how this all lines up. It's not going to.
No, it doesn't. It lines up to their Prime timeline. It doesn't line up to our Trek, and that's what they keep doing. They keep lying to us.
Yeah, it's like I said, they're Flintstoning the drain pipe.
We got some STD bingo, folks.
Where can I print that out?
It's on Twitter. It's
on Twitter. So
link in the chat here. But yeah, we'll have to play that next week. Definitely. That'll make it fun. I'll print. Let me see. Open image in a new tab, and I'll print that out. Yeah, we'll have to play some bingo. That'll be fun. At least it'll make it exciting.
Yep.
Oh wow! Look at that. Let me see annoying. Did we get a free space? Michael solves the problem. That's our free space right there. Annoying Tilly. You are so amazing. Pretentious episode title. Lens flare. Shaky cam.
Well, shit. Everybody's got a blackout on these.
I know.
Cheap
retcon. I love that.
Feelings. Cringe moment. Empathy. Gilmore Girls right. Oh, hold on. We didn't see who wrote this episode. Hold on.
See, it does give us something to do.
IMDb.com. Hold on. We gotta see who wrote this episode. We gotta check the writing credits.
If you drink if you drink while playing this, how fast do I get drunk? Immediately. Like 10 minutes, we already had a bingo.
Yeah, we'd have a blackout almost every. Oh, here we go. Here's a better version of it now.
Punching bag Pike.
Michael. Yeah, all these things happen in every damn episode. We're all gonna blackout on these. This is easy.
We're gonna be blackout drunk. Yeah, you might have to go to AA.
Well, that's what they used to call it. Was when you get everything on the board for blackout at the last game of the night. We got another super chat from Mr. Dave. I do have my cha-ching up now, by the way. So
okay.
Anyway, go ahead and read that if you want to. Otherwise, I can't.
David Lutz, $5. That Mikey Spock is going into Real Spock is terrible. Just as Fembot merging with Millennium Falcon. Oh, baby. Oh, yeah. I missed you, old girl. Mikey Spock is going into regular Spock.
Phrasing.
And I called that shit too. Speaking of, I called that shit with the robot too. Because didn't I say ahead of time, like, watch, something's gonna happen. She's gonna end up being the fucking Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, and that's why we don't have robots on the bridge.
I'm trying to go to IMBD, not IMDb. I'm like, why is the site not coming up?
Wonder what that would be.
Well, that's the one that Spock visits, because remember, he is dyslexic now.
He's got a learning disability special. He really does need that helmet.
I'm on the spectrum, people.
I have dyslexia, and I'm offended by how they're portraying him.
He's got a learning disability from me. Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to reach through and just smack her.
Pew, pew, pew.
I'm not a woman hitter at all, but I just, talking. And then when fucking, and he's right, actually. He's like, not if I say so. You know, it's like,
yep. He's an asshole, but he's right.
He's right, you know, but he does listen to reason, and at the same time, but still, he, you know, it's just, and even though she's technically right in the end, her character is just so annoyingly, I don't know. Again, I don't want to say it's the actress's fault. I want to give it to the writing and the directing. That's what I want.
It's because they don't know what they're writing and they don't know how to direct them. And none of these people are familiar with Star Trek. They're familiar with soap operas. She would be fine on a soap opera.
All right, light and shadow.
Give them the benefit of the doubt that they inherited something they do not understand. Okay,
yeah.
Because what we got out of Robert Meyer Burnett is basically, you know, they had planned this whole thing and then they kicked his ass out and they got a bunch of people in who really don't understand or like Star Trek involved, basically. Super.
Endar, as someone with Asperger's syndrome. I am really annoyed that they have to insert the stuff onto existing characters. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where the heck are the technical credits for this?
This show just reminds me so much of like. It would be a fan fiction thing of like Sheldon Cooper where he's like, and I need to be adopted by Sarek and I'm going to have to mind meld with him. So I have his Katra and then I'm going to be Spock's best friend growing up. And then he's going to be dyslexic because I'm dyslexic and I need myself represented. And then I'm on the starship and I'm the bestest ever. You know, only that like after Sheldon Cooper turned in his scripts, they're like, okay, well, yeah, we can't have you. You're a white male. We're going to race swap and gender swap you.
Okay. All right. Get your bingo cards ready, okay? Story by Ted Sullivan. Okay, let's look at his writing credits. Okay. Ted Sullivan. Okay, writer, 14 writing credits. Star Trek Discovery, Pure Genius, Supergirl. Well, it's Rizzoli and Isles. Law and Order, Criminal Intent. Perfect Imperfection, Action Auto, Checkmate, The Smart Show, I Don't Speak German, I'll Believe You, As the World Turns. So he's a soap opera writer. One Life to Live. Okay. All right. Okay. Nobody gets a score there. Vaughn Wilmot. Let's take a look at his writing credits. Vaughn Wilmot. Okay. Star Trek Discovery, co-executive producer and producer. Okay, I guess he's writing credits. Oh, he has 4 writing credits. Okay, Star Trek Discovery, story one episode, teleplay 1 episode, Prison Break, Dominion. What's Dominion? Wrote 5 episodes of Dominion. He's credited as creator on a lot of it. And Sons of Anarchy, 1 episode. He was an actor on 1 episode of Beverly Hills 90210 in 1994. Somebody named Gary. Oh, he was on Star. He does have ties to the original Star Trek: The Next Generation. He played a Bajoran security ensign. So don't say they don't have anybody with Star Trek experience.
So what was Dominion? Was that the TV show that was based on the video game, or was that Destiny? I know they had like a video game TV show thing that they were running concurrent. I can't remember. It was one of those D names. That's why I always get these things confused because they all sound so samey.
All right. What does a story editor do? I got feel. Let's take a look. Sean Cochran. Let's see. Story editor Sean Cochran. Oh wow. Okay. Miscellaneous crew writer. His only writing credits are Star Trek Discovery and Short Treks. He's listed as story editor, and he wrote Calypso. But he's okay. Production staff on Revenge. Production staff on Good Christian Bitches. Production staff, assistant to executive producers. Off the Map, which means Go Get Me Coffee. Production secretary, Mercy. Off Duty, TV movie, assistant to executive producer, Lipstick Jungle, production assistant, PA. So he's a gopher, PA. I've done that. I've done that at concerts. You're production assistant. You go get shit they need. You go to Home Depot, you get plywood.
Yeah. Why would you give that person a show?
I listen, I'm not looking down on what that work. Okay, somebody's got to do it. But at the same time, I mean, it doesn't mean you're qualified to write on Star Trek. Chris Cooling, yep, this is the level people they're giving shows to. Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, so we don't get a Gilmore Girls writer square on that one. But I'm gonna print this out though. Ripped off scenes, unfunny joke. What's the Shelby method? Confusing subplot. Okay, voiceover storytelling. Darkness. Something gross happens. Pew pew pew. Blinking lights.
Probably Commander Shelby. They're talking about.
Commander Shelby.
You remember the blonde on the 2-parter? And she was like really bitchy. God, what was her thing? I don't remember exactly. It's really familiar.
Okay. Right. Okay. Well, like I said, we ready to put this to bed and talk about the Orville?
Yeah. Final thoughts on this episode.
It sucked.
Fuck it. I hated it.
They can take their pecker Spock and shove it up their ass, as far as I'm concerned. I'm done.
Did we didn't miss anything, did we?
Nope, not that I can think of. Nothing that was worthwhile.
Everybody, print out your Star Trek Discovery bingo cards. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have fun with this. We really are. I gotta save that to my documents. So. All right. Well, like I said, I don't want to talk about this anymore. So let's transition, do some transmission. Blah. Let's do some transition music, okay?
Captain, incoming message.
Intruder alert on deck 8. Enter authorization code. Command functions are offline. Automatic defense procedures initiated. Diagnostic complete. Sensors are functioning normally.
You're a whore.